Today, one of our biggest unions has criticised the amount the chief executive of Severn Trent Water gets in pay, pension, bonuses and benefits. The GMB reckons Liv Garfield collected nearly £2.5 million in 2017, all told. That, they say, is 13 times the amount the Prime Minister earns. And they estimate it's a 50% increase on what the Chief Executive earned in 2013. What it all means, according to the union, is that the water company should be returned to the public sector. Well, earlier I put it to Stuart Richards from the GMB that it's always been up to shareholders to either approve or reject the pay levels of senior executives.
We're talking about public services, essentially. We're talking about an essential, vital public service, which is the provision of water. Our point is that we don't believe that that should be a commercial enterprise. The second point is if you accept that, then you're looking at an extortionate amount of money, which is going for a public service, going to the top job within that. We're looking at Severn Trent, that's £2.4 million a year that's going to one job within that organisation.
But pay and bonuses have to be approved by shareholders. Clearly they have approved this level of remuneration because this is what the CEO gets.
And I think that's the point, because we're treating this as a commercial enterprise and we're saying that that isn't right. Essentially, we are talking about the provision of clean and the removal of wastewater. Everyone in the country has to engage with that, has to use those services. It's not as if this is a broadband provider. You have to go to that. So it shouldn't be shareholders making that choice. It should be the public, and it should be our elected politicians that make that choice.
OK, now I know the GMB has a campaign to renationalise the water industry. Let's say that happened. I mean, how little would we be paying the person who runs the organisation that is now Severn Trent? I mean, clearly you'd want to pay less than the Prime Minister's getting. So what, 100k, 110?
If you look at the standards that we apply to other public sector organisations like local government, like the NHS, there is a restriction on the amount that they can earn. And we're not going to sit here and say what that should be, but something that is 6 times larger than our Prime Minister, we're thinking is unacceptable.
OK. Stuart Richards, we'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, naturally, we wanted to interview Severn Trent as well as the GMB, but they turned us down. They issued a very brief statement which said the company's priority was its customers, adding, and I quote, executive pay is based on a range of challenging performance targets and is in line with pay at companies of a similar size.